Hi Eugene, nice to be on this show. I don't know how it is, but it is just going to happen. Basically, my name is Baba Rich, that's how they all call me, or Richard Tan. Basically, a show director, producer, cultural consultant, or blah 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 blah. But all that is behind me. I'm retired now. So I have a little store behind, as you can see, called Heritage Corner. Now I'm a Chendol master. Okay. So anyway, get to the point of the story. I'd like to share a story, a true real life story of what I experienced about 18 years ago. Yeah, which prompted me and it sort of gave me a whole new awakening to things of the paranormal.
I really don't feel good. It's like getting a...
Is anyone here? What did you find?
You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.
I was so delighted at the age of 35 to be able to own a HDB 5-room flat. And this is HDB Hotline, and specifically in the area of Bukit Panjang. And I found out that this beautiful area that I was being allotted to has the beautiful landscape of gardens, old ancient tall trees next to like a water catchment area. And I thought, my God, this is the most romantic and a fabulous place to get a your first 5-room flat, right? Little did I know that the area used to be, of course, hutan lah, jungle and then forested, and they preserved some of these very beautiful old trees. So anyway, I'll come to that very soon. For the first 4 years, I lived quite happily there, but I started to feel strange things happening in my. Of course, you will imagine a brand new apartment, things will happen, right? I started experiencing my aircon getting colder than usual. Most aircon, I know, 18 degrees. But I tell you, when I took out my thermometer, it was 10 degrees, I swear. I said, how can this aircon even become so cold? My sister who used to live with me kept getting sick. And then when she slept, she said someone is always pushing on her chest and all that kind of jazz. I experienced something like that. I experienced in some of my dreams, and this was the start of it, that this big, huge, hairy thing was just looking over me, hovering over me. So I'm still getting the goosebumps. And I thought, okay lah, bad dream lah, sometimes you. And then the coldness became more apparent to the point that one night, my bathroom started flickering, the light started flickering. I said, hey, maybe after 4 years, you must change your bulb already lah. So I did, I changed my bulb. But it started to happen again. And I felt this uneasy feeling. So what did I do? I shouted. I said, hey, whoever you are, just leave me alone. I want to sleep. You leave me in peace. So okay, tidur. Sekali I tell you what, the one that really woke me up is my bathroom shower came on in the middle of the night, 2 o'clock. I said, shit, man. I mean, I don't have any auto shower, no. So I got up, turn on the light, look at it, turn it off, and it was like a small off only, but I don't know why it just came on. Okay, must have taken a lot of energy to turn on the... And I started getting sick. And happened straight that month was the 7-month Chinese Ghost Festival. God, in the evening when I came home, I could feel rashes coming all over me, I said, how the hell did this happen? I thought maybe I kena some allergy, right? Okay, never mind. Next morning when I woke up, gone. Nothing, not a speck of... I said, hey, the last night was a strange night. Maybe I just slept it off. So, came the following night at 7 o'clock when the sunset already started again. I started coming with a puya everywhere, I said, okay, something is wrong. It happened that day, my Malay friend came to visit me. And he looked at me and said, Richard, ini nampak badan kena kotor, It means you are something dirty, don't look right lah. So I said, okay lah. So I went to the pharmacy, buy calamine lotion and all, tried to just ease it out. Then I met a friend of mine over lunch and he said, this month is not a good month, things can happen, so you might want to do something about it. Instantly, my friend brought me to go and see a Chinese medium. And this is in Ang Mo Kio, think block 400 something, I can't remember already. But when I went in, he brought me to see this Chinese seafood. I call him seafood, of course now. He looked at me and said, he just waved and said, okay, you sit down first. I attend to one Indian customer. And the Indian customer shocked the daylights out of me because he was possessed. So okay, now cut that one different story for another time. Then what happened was he said, okay, I'm going to come to your house tomorrow. Fix an appointment. He says, definitely something is not right in the house. After I relate to him and tell him what happened, right? Next day he comes to my house with his son, and his son was the understudy, for him because he's been a very experienced medium lah. He stood outside my house. He didn't want to go in. The son didn't want to go in. Then the father went in. The father looked, and he headed for the corridor to my end of my 5-room flat. He looked at it and said, it's up there, sitting up there. I said, what's sitting up there? He said, the spirit. I said, what spirit? What spirit is it? He said, probably a very old, 100-year-old tree spirit. I said, how did that happen? I said, how did that happen? He said, probably from below your flat. And I said, okay, so what's the logic? So here comes the whole logic, the story. Old tree spirit followed me home when I took a shortcut on my way house. Got to ikut masuk my rumah and decided to stay there. He said, don't worry, I'll catch it for you. Give me some rice and give me raw rice, right, and some salt. So you take the rice, so you walk around the house. You say, okay, but you go outside and you wait outside. So of course I didn't have to see what went on in. But when I came home, of course, later when I back, I saw all the rice all over the house. And then he had this little pouch, a little yellow pouch with a red string. He said, okay, it's in here. I said, oh, that's interesting. But this tree spirit just needs to find a place to stay. Maybe he kacau you, maybe he was just being naughty. But I'm not going to kill it, I'm just going to return it back to where it came from. He said, I will bring it downstairs and put it back on the tree. Then the real harsh reality hit me. He said, you know what? Your date and time of birth clash with your house number, and all the whole feng shui, your door faces the gates of hell. So all this become a portal. Say, and then you look around and say, you know your cooking area where your pot is? They say, by the way, every time you cook, you burn your money. I say, why? That is where exactly your pot of gold is in your house. You have placed it in the wrong position. I said, oh, you don't only tell my ghost story, you also feng shui master that tell my feng shui. But the final piece of cake that really blew my mind was that this energy in the house is not good for you. If you don't move out, somebody's going to die in this house. I said, okay, so I have to sell the house. I moved out. The house was like, I only come back once in a while, jaga, and I go out when 5 years came up. In fact, just even 3 months before 5 years came up, I found a buyer already. So the buyer said, okay, don't worry, when you can sell, time to sell, I will just buy. I said, so what happens when someone who buys my house? He said, don't worry, if the person's energy is strong and bright, it will no harm will come to him. And his time and the day above also different. So everything changes, the feng shui effect changes. I don't believe all these things, but when you know your shower can turn on by itself, you better believe it.
What did you find?
You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.